Welcome to another episode of the Draftnerds Podcast. Um, man, we back another day. We got into it late last night, but we're gonna continue today on what we was talking about, building on the Baltimore Ravens and what to expect as far as what to expect as far as like, okay, what's the next step? I think we've already acknowledged that John Harbaugh is not the he's not the coach to take the Ravens into the future. And so because of that, we have to look at and see, okay, who is the guy that should be leading the charge for the Ravens in the future. I give you guys my top 5 coaches that I think should and could replace John Harbaugh. And one of those guys obviously was uh, John Gruden. We talked about Jesse Minter. We talked about Brian Flores. I mentioned Ray Lewis as an option. Even talked about Rex Ryan coming back, possibly maybe as the defensive coordinator or something like that. And so now we go a little bit step further. We talk about more prospects and players that I am the draft nerds. And so we got to talk about the draft. We got to talk about and getting you guys ready for this next crop of professionals coming into the league. We can talk about we're going to talk about player team needs and where I think this team can go based on where they are right now. As you can see, they're dealing with a plethora of injuries. Not to mention, they're also dealing just with a roster that has some dead weight, is what I call it. There's some dead weight on this roster that needs to be cleared out and immediately. And so I think with that being said, this is a great class as far as what the Ravens needs, and as far as what they need. I think this is the perfect year because the draft is loaded at the positions in which the Ravens need talent, pretty much. And so I'm excited to get into this today. As you can see, listen, we back. We doing this legit, full time. So I need you guys to support the channel. As you can see in the scrolling by, you can support the channel through PayPal right now. We don't have enough subscribers yet, so please, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Please subscribe, because once we get to that point and we build the channel, then we're able to access super chat and things like that, where you guys can then support the channel. But in the meantime, you can do it through PayPal. As you can see at the top left of my screen here, that is a barcode where you can just take your phone, hover over it, it'll take you straight to the PayPal, and you can donate to the channel that way. Y'all know I appreciate y'all. Your boys back on X. We had a wonderful space today. I think I had 150 people in today, so I never felt the love more than I felt today. You guys showed out. We had a great conversation. We had some laughs, some jokes, and we even had some passionate debates like we always do. So I absolutely appreciate you guys showing up in the way that you did. And so let's get into it, man. First things first, man. I've been going over the all 22 film from last week, Kansas City game, and frankly, it was a tough watch. The D-line and offensive lines got pushed around. Guys in the secondary looked lost. It's just been tough to watch. Anyone who knows me, who's been following me on Twitter, been in spaces with me, knows that I was against the Zach Orr hire from the beginning. I thought it was a bad hire. I thought it was a mistake. Have nothing personal against Zach Orr. I just thought that the Ravens were coming off an AFC Championship game, one game away from the Super Bowl. I just think it's ridiculous to come back the next year and hire a coach with zero experience. I mean, he had no prior experience at calling plays at any level. And you make this guy your defensive coordinator for a team that just came off an AFC Championship, a 1 seed. It doesn't make sense. Like, if you want to, if you like Zach Orr, you want to keep him around, keep him as the linebacker coach, give him some extra responsibility, but you don't put the entire defense in his hands. what do we like? That doesn't make any sense. It really just doesn't make any sense. You don't take the fate of your entire team, your defense, your pride and joy, and you put it in the hands of a guy with absolutely no experience. I just think it was stupid. I'm just gonna be straightforward. I thought it was silly to do to do something like that. But here we are. I thought Todd Monken has not been good as well. Yes, the Ravens scored 41 points twice this season. But like let's like take it all in context. Week 1, you cannot really. It's hard to engage. It's hard to gauge anything from week 1 because both teams are coming out and you don't know what's going to happen. There's no tape on this team based on this season, and so you're just out there. You're trying things. You're doing things, and so he scored 41 points. Then he scored 41 points against the Browns. Browns got a good defense, but if you watch that game was way closer than the score indicated. And so you get dog walked by the Lions, you get dog walked by the Chiefs. I just don't see now that you have all these injuries, and then reported today, Tyler Linderbaum and Kyle Hamilton have now been added to the injury report. I just don't see a light at the end of this tunnel. And frankly, we said this earlier, if you're a Ravens fan, you don't want the light at the end of the tunnel for this season. Because all that's going to do is going to delay, which we all know should be the inevitable, which is John Harbaugh being relieved of duties. And that will never happen as long as the Ravens keep skating by. And that's what they've been doing. As long as they win, 10, 11, 12 games, get to the playoffs and go one and done, the owner is going to continue to look at the situation as glass half full, right? He's going to look at it and say, well, we're right there. We're close. Let's just keep going in this direction. And it's been way longer than most people want to be honest and give real credence to. Prior to Lamar Jackson showing up in 2018, the Ravens had missed the playoffs 4 out of 5 years. Yes, you heard that right. They missed the playoffs 4 out of 5 years. And since having Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP, they've gone one and done in the playoffs every single year. The Ravens have not won 2 playoff games in a single season since 2012. Yes, I'll say that again. The Ravens have not won consecutive playoff games in any individual season or year since 2012. How many coaches around the NFL or even other sports, NBA, whatever, would have that type of resume and still have a job? Please put it in the chat. If you disagree with what I'm saying and you think that is success by some measure, or you think that someone else would have a job in that same situation, it just doesn't make sense. It's the same reason why Steelers fans are all over Mike Tomlin, because he hasn't won a playoff game in God knows when. But he has a little bit of a baked-in excuse. I mean, he doesn't have a quarterback, right? Big Ben was kind of cooked towards the end, and but if you look at the situation with the Ravens, John Harbaugh has it all. Talent on defense, talent on offense, MVP quarterback, Hall of Fame running back, all-pro tight end, all-pro left tackle, all-pro center, 5 first-round draft picks in the secondary, all-pro defensive tackle, all-pro linebacker, all-pro corner, all-pro safety. And you haven't won consecutive playoff games in a season since 2012. That is, like my boy Juice always say, that's nasty. I'm gonna sip this tea. That's nasty. I don't think if you're the Ravens, you can't keep doing that. I mean, Steve Bisciotti has to do something. He has to do something, because what we're seeing is absolutely not working anymore. And Steve Bisciotti is on record saying that that he wants to win the Super Bowl now, right? He's on record for saying that, that he wants to win now. He was very emphatic about it. He was like, I want to win now, not tomorrow, not next year, not next week. I want to win now. And he said it with John Harbaugh sitting next to him. So I just think that that's something that can't be. If I'm Ravens fans, I would look at that as like that was a message sent to the head coach, and I just don't think you can underestimate or understate why he said that when he chose to say it. I think he said it for a reason. I think he said it in that moment for a reason. I think he said it in that moment for a reason because he wanted it to be clear that the head coach needed to win now. So y'all use the chat. Let me know. What do you think? Does John Harbaugh need to go? Do you think he needs to go now? Do you think he needs to go at the end of the season? Do you think his time is up? Or maybe you're completely the other side and you believe that John Harbaugh is doing a good job and should remain the head coach. What are your thoughts? Let's utilize this chat and get some thoughts from you guys. What do you think about John Harbaugh? Do you think it's time for him to go? And while you guys are responding, I'm going to play the video in question. And we're going to watch it, and you're going to hear from the owner's mouth himself.
What do you envision for the next 30 years of Baltimore Ravens football?
I want to win now. Right. I don't give a damn about 30 years from now. I really don't. I want to win now. I want to win with these guys.
All we're really thinking about
championships.
Yeah, we weren't talking about any of this other stuff.
We're pissed.
We're talking about let's get this done.
Yeah. Can we build an offense around Lamar? Well, that's the question. It's like, well, you can if you do it right.
To make that decision at the time, it was considered a risk.
I don't even look at it as a risk, really. I don't like that word because if it failed, we failed. It wasn't that Lamar failed.
It's a matter of when, not if, he wins that Super Bowl. How badly, I guess, do you want it for Lamar?
Can't even put it into words. Can't even express it. It's like so deep. It's so deep inside. Such a desire, just such a determination to get it done. For really.
All right. So as you saw in John Harbaugh's and I should say Steve Bisciotti's words, he wants to win now. He said, not 30 years from now. I want to win now. He said, we're pissed off. Now, if you think he was pissed off then, the season hadn't even started yet. They hadn't lost a game, nothing. He said, we're pissed off about what has been transpiring the last, 7-8 years since Lamar Jackson's been the quarterback. Even before that, I'm sure he's irritated about the whole, since 2012, right? How do you think Steve Bisciotti feels now? If he was pissed off at the owners' meeting, I wonder how pissed off do you think he is now that the Ravens are 1-3, staring at 1-4 this weekend? Scratch the Win says Harbaugh needs to go now, and absolutely, I agree with you. He needs to go now. Now, Steve Bisciotti is also on record saying that he doesn't believe in firing coaches in season. He doesn't feel like he doesn't think it makes sense. It doesn't actually fix anything. And so I get it. I understand that he doesn't feel that way. And so with that being said, Harbaugh won't be getting fired probably during the season. But when this season is over, he'll be gone. At least that's what I think. In my opinion, let's go to Thomas, Houston Texans fan here. He needs to go because he hasn't formed a system to get Lamar settled offensively this season. Play calls have been poor every week, but who would you want as head coach? So I just was talking about this last night. We did a pod, and I gave my top 5 head coaches to replace John Harbaugh. I'll give him again because I realized I went live super late last night, and you guys can obviously go to YouTube and watch it, but I'll go over them again. So I'll start with number 1. My number 1 replacement for John Harbaugh, in my opinion, is this gentleman right here. I'm going to show him on my screen. Okay. And that is the guy, Jesse Minter. So if you know who Jesse Minter is, he's the defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Chargers. Don't want to call him San Diego. And yes, he's the defensive coordinator of the LA Chargers. He has some history with the Baltimore Ravens. He was secondary coach at one point. He was also a position coach with the Ravens. He spent some significant time in college as defensive coordinator for multiple different teams. Obviously, Michigan, one of them. They won a national championship. He's coached everything from linebackers to secondary to the whole defense. And so Jesse Minter would be my number one choice because of his age. Now, the thing that gives me pause about Jesse Minter is that he's a Harbaugh guy. He's cut from that same cloth. He's coached under John and he's coached under Jim. So I will be nervous a little bit about kind of basically rehiring a mini John Harbaugh. But I want to be fair to him and give him an opportunity to put his own stamp on the team. So Jesse Minter would be my top choice. The number 2 coach that I think would be great to replace John Harbaugh would be, and just give me a second. Let's get a drum roll here. All right, and that person is this man and yours truly, Mr. John Gruden. The reason I said John Gruden is that he already has experience and expertise doing exactly what we would need him to do. And what that is take over a supremely talented team that has failed to meet expectations and take them to a Super Bowl and win it. And you're probably saying, well, when did he do that? Well, don't know how long you've been watching football, but there was a time where Tony Dungy had a supremely talented Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, and every year they would fall short and fail to meet expectations. Well, Tampa Bay did something that I had never seen at the time. It was the first time I've ever seen it. They traded for John Gruden. John Gruden was the head coach of the Raiders. He had took them to the AFC Championship game against the Baltimore Ravens in 2000, in which they lost because, the Ravens were awesome in 2000. And he then got traded to Tampa Bay and won the Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's team. And everybody said, oh, that was Tony Dungy's team. Yeah, but what did Tony Dungy do with it? Jay-Z had a popular line in the song where he says, I took your song because you was using it wrong. Or he said, and I took your quote or whatever. I took your line and because you was using it wrong. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. Right? Basically saying, look, I took what you had because you was using it wrong. And I won a Super Bowl with it. It's the same thing that what Baltimore did with the Cleveland Browns. Sorry, Cleveland. You had the Browns forever. Never won a Super Bowl. They moved to Baltimore. They win 2 Super Bowls. So it is what it is. Harbaugh has flamed out. Harbaugh has reached his peak as the Baltimore Ravens head coach. I believe the locker room has quit on him. I believe he's lost the locker room. If you watch the body language of the players on the sideline last week, I mean, they were like waving the white towel. I had never seen in my entire life. I've been a Ravens fan since 1996. And I've never seen a Baltimore Raven team just quit. They quit. So if we're gonna be out here quitting, we need we need to be better. So John Gruden is my number 2 choice. I think he'd be awesome for Lamar too. Like one thing John Gruden is known for is coaching quarterbacks and developing offenses. He's a West Coast guy, started under, he's in the, a descendant of the Bill Walsh regime. He was on that awesome staff in Green Bay. under Mike Holmgren, where it was Mike Holmgren, it was John Gruden, it was Steve Mariucci, it was Andy Reid, it was Ray Rhodes. I mean, it was an unbelievable staff, and John Gruden started from that. I think John Gruden would be perfect. I think he's itching to get back out there as a head coach, and I think he'd be a great person to just rejuvenate the locker room of the Baltimore Ravens. And then number 3 for me, in my opinion, John Harbaugh replacement is a guy that I've heard a lot of Ravens fans mention, talk about. I heard his name mentioned a lot, actually. And this guy, to me, in my opinion, I think be awesome. And that is none other than Mr. Brian Flores. Doesn't he look good in purple, ladies and gentlemen? He looks great in those Ravens colors. All jokes aside, I think Brian Flores would be awesome. I mean, he's like old school type of coach. Like, I think he would really set a standard and expectation that we haven't seen in a while. I think he would hold star players accountable in the same way that he would hold lesser players accountable. I think our defense would be legit. I think everybody, you wouldn't see the blown assignments and lack of communication you see now, because Brian Flores is a descendant of Bill Belichick, and they believe in doing your job. They believe in do your one of one. If you do your one of one, then everything collectively will come together. I think he'll have an attacking aggressive style of defense, which we've been used to in Baltimore. We know and love and expect to have a blitzing, attacking style, aggressive style of defense, and we just don't see that right now under Zach. Oh, we just see a bunch of guys out there that are just like, I don't know, it looks soft out there. You know, it just looks like they running prevent defense from the word go. Brian Flores would not allow that. And some other guys I honorable mention. I mentioned Ray Lewis as a potential option. Ray's on record saying that he would love to coach. He'd be interested in coaching, but it has to be the right situation. I think Baltimore would absolutely be the right situation. He could be a D coordinator. He could be a head coach. I know he knows how to lead. I know he knows how to watch film and how to teach others how to watch film. I know he knows how to put the right people in the right places in order for them to succeed. I know he knows how to do all those things. So I think he could have a Dan Campbell type success in his career as a former player. Bill Belichick was somebody I mentioned as just like a short-term solution. This roster is loaded with veterans, so let's bring in an older guy that can, like Bill Belichick. He'll come in, he'll set the standard, they'll win a Super Bowl, and then we can, hire his successor. And then Rex Ryan is on record saying that he would love to come back as D coordinator. I'm sure he would love to come back as head coach too, if given the opportunity. I'm not sure if Steve Bisciotti would give him the opportunity, but they probably will hire him as a DC for sure. So I think that'd be awesome as well to see Rex back calling the Ravens defense, so we can get back to being the bullies of Baltimore. Because right now we fake bullies. Ravens are fake bullies, man. They living off the reputation in the past of players that are no longer on the Ravens. They're living off the reputation of guys who are retired in the Hall of Fame. I mean, when Kyle Hamilton comes out and says the fans are spoiled by what? Certainly nothing this current iteration of the Ravens are doing. So if you're saying they're spoiled based on the championships and the success of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, then what does that have to do with you? They're not spoiled by anything that you've done. So that's my thing. It's just like if Ravens fans are spoiled, it has nothing to do with the current regime in Baltimore. So those are my top 5 coaches. Y'all use the chat. Let me know. Do you like my top 5? Do you hate my top 5? Would you change anything? Is there some guys I didn't mention that you would throw them in the ring as potential John Harbaugh replacements? Let's utilize the chat. And while we're doing that, I want to take the time and tell everybody, please support the channel. Right now, we need as many subscribers on YouTube as possible. Once we reach 500, we can then start monetizing and we can activate super chat, things like that. But until then, we do have PayPal. So you can just click, pull out your camera, hover over the QR code, and it'll take you straight to PayPal. And then you can go there to donate to the channel. Every little bit is appreciated. It allows me to continue to build the channel and then give you guys bigger and better content. And so, y'all know I appreciate you, especially all of you that's been rocking with me on Twitter and all that stuff like that. You can also follow me on Twitch at Draftnerds1. Follow me on YouTube at Draftnerds. And you can follow me as well on Twitter if you're not already, obviously, at Talking Ball 1. And profile name is just Draft Nerd. So appreciate all you guys rocking with me. Let's continue with the pod today. And so yes, now we've already exhausted all the ideas of John needs to go, right? We've already said that John needs to go. Now the next step is, what's the solution? So we just gave out the top 5 coaches. Now let's talk about some players. Last night I highlighted one player, and I want to talk about him again because we got a bigger audience today, and it was pretty late last night. So I want to definitely highlight some other, just one particular player, and then some other players. Madubuike may be done, y'all. I'm just come out and say he may have played his last down. A neck injury is nothing to play with, and it retires a lot of guys. If that's the case, regardless, even if he's not done, the Ravens need help on the D-line. They also need help on the O-line, but they need help on the D-line badly. Travis Jones has not lived up to the expectation in which he was supposed to. There was talks about in that draft that he was just as good as Jordan Davis, if not better. The only reason why people didn't know about him is because he played at Connecticut, that he was, and Ravens fans every year saying this is the year Travis Jones breaks out. And every year it's the same thing. It's injuries. Even when he's not injured, the production is just not there. So, and I say all that to say, I still would keep Travis Jones. I think he'd be cheap now. I mean, I don't think he would command a lot of money on the open market. But at the same time, I think the Ravens need to continue to add to the D-line because if Madubuike is gone, you're definitely going to need to keep Travis. You're going to have Travis. You'll have Broderick Washington. You'll have Aeneas Peoples. I do like the kid we have. Was it CJ Koye, something like that? The D tackle we have on the practice squad. I like him. Continue to develop him. But that's pretty much it. Like Brent Urban is a rental for this year. Tavius Robinson can play edge and he can play on the D-line, so I like him inside as well. But that's it. You don't really have a lot of depth up front on the D-line, and frankly, you don't really have a dog outside of Madubuike. So I'm going to highlight some guys that I think will be perfect fits. And y'all know, I'm batting 1,000 right now when it comes to the NFL draft. Every pick I want to say for the last 5 years, every first round pick of the Ravens, I've nailed it. Not to toot my own horn, but hey, man, hey, when you right, you're right. All right, so Thomas says, Mentor, Flores, great choices. Gruden is a genius, but will the league let him back in? Yes, they will. I don't know if you've noticed, but John Gruden has done it this offseason. He did a tour of all the NFL training camps. He was in the building, like at the Ravens facility, in the building, talking to the players. He's been in the building of almost every NFL team. So I think the NFL has already let him back. He just haven't been given a job yet. 954 Inc. says, I like what Joe Brady is doing in Buffalo. Would maybe be a slight risk, but he's from where Lamar's from. I like how he runs a primarily under center offense that establishes the run. Won Josh's first MVP. Okay. Joe Brady. That's an interesting name. I remember when Joe Brady was the offensive coordinator at LSU when they won the national championship with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and all those guys they had. And he was supposed to be a star, right? Like everybody thought he was going to be a star. He came into the NFL as an OC for Carolina, and it just wasn't good. But he got a second chance, and he's doing extremely well with Josh Allen. So Joe Brady be interesting. Joe Brady absolutely would be interesting as the head coach of the Ravens. I just would wonder who he would hire as his defensive coordinator. Him being an offensive guy, I don't know what relationships he has as far as in the coaching ranks and who he would, bring in. But I'm sure it'd be an exciting hire, and I'm sure Ravens fans would be happy with it because I'm sure they're ready to move on from what's going on right now. Anywho, let's get into a guy that I'm, really excited about as far as being an addition through the draft for the Baltimore Ravens. He's a guy that I think that would just absolutely fit this defense like a glove. I think he's the type of guy that, I mean, he's the type of guy that, like, this is what we do, right? Like, he's the type of person, like, type of player that I think the Ravens look for. They look for those type of guys, right? Those type of bullies up front, guys that are just, like flat out dogs. And that is Mr. Peter Woods, defensive tackle / edge from the University of Clemson. And I mean, this guy is he's a stud. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is an absolute stud. For those who don't know who he is, I'm going to break him down in a second. We're going to watch some film. We're going to talk about him. we're going to move quickly, and then we'll go into some other stuff from some other players. But this is Mr. Peter Woods right here. Just a dog, man. Absolute dog. Absolute enforcer up front. Can move people. Does not get moved easily. Has that Raven type mentality. He's super smart. Understands leverages and how to use his body inside. Pause. And I think he'd be a great fit. For those, I know there's a lot of Ravens fans saying, "Oh, we want Ruben Bain." First of all, I don't even know if the Ravens would lose enough games to get Ruben Bain. And frankly, I think Peter Woods is a better fit. All right, so Peter Woods is 6'3", 315 pounds. He is, I believe he's like a junior now. It's got to be like in his third year. But he's tough. Like, Peter Woods is a dog. 6'3", 315. Ran a 4.75 at Clemson in the 40. That's rolling for a guy that size. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. He's just a dog. And I think that when you think about this particular player, this is the guy that I think sorry, little one. But yeah, when you think about a player like Peter Woods, man, this is the type of guy the Baltimore Ravens need. An enforcer up front, a guy that's going to bring some attitude and some force to the D-line, because they need it badly. They need it badly. So let's jump into some. And that's my daughter right there. So making a cameo. But let's get into some of his film. So I want to show you guys something here. This just kind of highlights the type of player and mentality he has. Listen to this.
If I came here and I was talking to y'all with 10 sacks and 15 TFLs, I mean, we still 1-3, and I'm still gonna come here and tell you that I got to get better every day and got to do better for my team. And so that's just kind of my mindset with that. Schemes and game plans. As far as the other team, they vary. Saying one thing that doesn't vary is hard work, dedication, and then a response. And so, like I said, if I was in here and I had the stats that y'all had written down for me, whatever you had in your head, we're still 1-3. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, as a leader of the team, I just see myself as trying to get better and trying to influence that mindset on people every day.
You feel like the effort's been there?
Yeah, I think we're playing hard.
Come on, man. Come on, man. How many of our current players right now are talking like that as a 1-3? Like, that's the mentality. Is like, yo, whether we 1-3 or 3-0, doesn't matter. I need to be better. So let's just jump into a few of his plays. Love Peter Woods. He's a dog, and he walked. He is a dog. Love Peter Woods though. He's just a really good player, man. All right, here we go. So you're gonna watch him. Number 11 inside, right? He's getting penetration every single play. Now the rest of the guys around him have to make plays, but if you just watch him, look at him. He's manhandling offensive linemen. He's throwing guys. He has heavy hands. He has some really twitchy ability for a dude his size. You don't really see guys 315 pounds that move the way he moves. And I just think that he's just like that new age, like what you see in today's NFL, like guys like Aaron Donald, right? A guy that could, like Aaron Donald was a guy that could line up on the edge. He could line up inside. And Peter Woods is the same way. He's the same way. You see number 11, they double team him. Sometimes they even triple team him. He's really that good. Walt says, Peter Woods, exclamation point. Yes, sir. And then he says, hey, this year could be a wash, but I'm leaving here with something. Absolutely. And that something should be Mr. Peter Woods, defensive lineman extraordinary. Again, he can play edge, he can play inside. This is exactly what the Ravens need on that front, especially if Madubuike is going to be out. Like, if he doesn't play anymore, like, this becomes an even bigger need. I think it's a need even with Madubuike on the team. But if he's like his career's over or whatever the case may be, I hope it's not. This guy he'd be perfect. He'd be perfect fit. Love Peter Woods. So talk about some of his strengths. As you can see when you're watching the film here. Explosiveness off the snap, jumps off the tape. Consistently the first defender moving at the snap, gaining immediate leverage, and getting advantages that disrupts blocking schemes before they develop. Rare athletic fluidity for his size allows him to bend and contort through gaps that should be closed to a 315-pound man. He showed this repeatedly against Georgia, who had NFL caliber offensive linemen. We're talking about he has exceptional run defense instincts, consistently diagnoses blocking schemes pre-snap, maintains proper gap integrity, and shows the processing speed to adjust when plays develop differently than he expected. Powerful lower half, generates tremendous drive when bull rushing, can walk offensive tackles straight back into the quarterback's lap when he decides to convert speed to power. He shows advanced hand fighting techniques, including well-timed swipes, chops, and counters that suggest hours of technical refinement rarely seen in college players. That's what you would get, ladies and gentlemen, from Peter Woods, number 11, from the Clemson Tigers. Hey, man, we've gone to that Clemson well quite a few times the last few years. Why not do it again? What's your thoughts? Chime in, use the chat. What are you guys' thoughts on Peter Woods as a potential first-round draft pick of the Baltimore Ravens? Let me know. How we feeling about it? How we feeling about Peter Woods as the Ravens' first-round draft pick? Tell me what you guys think. How we feeling about Mr. Ruben Bain? Ruben Bain, Lord Peter Woods. And while we are waiting for you guys to respond in the chat, let's talk about Ruben Bain, shall we? One second. Okay, let's try it again. All right, there we go. So Ruben Bain here. I know a lot of Ravens fans love Ruben Bain. I just don't think he'll be there when the Ravens are picking. I think he's going to be pretty high. Maybe he might be top 5, to be honest. But yeah, as you can see, he has some explosion for a guy that big. Really good get off. He's got some power in his hands. He's relentless as far as just having a motor and just nonstop. He gets around the corner easily. I am really high on Mike Green, and I think we'll see as the season goes on, he'll start making more plays. And then next season, in the right defensive scheme, I think Mike Green will be unleashed. So you want to get a partner for him, and a guy like Ruben Bain would be a great option. Walt says Bain is another one of my guys too. Yes, sir. Ruben Bain, man, is a dog. So I don't disagree with Ravens fans when they say, well, we should get Ruben Bain. Don't disagree with that. I just don't know if he'll be there when the Ravens pick. But you never know. Ruben Bain is 6'3", 275 pounds. Some of his highlights or his strengths, I would say, is he has exceptional first step quickness and get off that translate to immediate penetration, allowing him to blow up plays before they develop and keeping offensive tackles on their heels. Vicious hand usage with heavy weight pop on initial contact delivers a shocking jolt that routinely displaces blockers and creates immediate leverage advantages in both run and pass situations. He has a rare motor that runs nuclear hot from the snap to whistle, relentlessly pursuing ball carriers, sideline to sideline, and fighting through double teams with the same intensity as one-on-ones. So as you can see, Ruben Bain is legit. Byron says, Bainamore. All right. Well, Ruben Bain, if you out there, man, Ravens fans want you in purple and black. They want you with the flock. He also from Florida too, so you know how EDC feels about them Florida guys. So Walt says he kind of fits the mold of like an Ed Oliver. I can see that. Bain is definitely a guy I believe that could probably play inside, outside in the NFL as well. I think he could definitely play both. And I think you need that. I think right now when you watch the defensive line of the Ravens, you don't see versatility. Outside of Tavius Robinson, it's not a lot of guys with versatility. Matabike had versatility, but obviously he's not there anymore. And so you need guys with versatility. You need guys that can play multiple positions along the front. And Peter Woods and Ruben Bain could absolutely do just that. All right. So let's take a vote. Ruben Bain, give me a thumbs up if you think Ruben Bain should be the pick. Give me a 100 emoji if you think Peter Woods should be the pick. Ruben Bain, Peter Woods, which one of the two guys do you like the most? And while you guys are doing that, I want to highlight another guy that I think a lot of fans aren't necessarily talking about. And shout out to my man, Coach Warready. This is one of his guys. And we're going to highlight them. All right. So we say, Walt says, oh, man. Walt gives us the 100 for Peter Woods. All right. We got one vote for Peter Woods. Can we get a thumbs up for Ruben Bain? 100 for Peter Woods. Put it in the chat. And while you guys are doing that, I want to highlight another guy. And this is why I say this is the perfect year for the Ravens to kind of suck. Because the strength of the draft are at positions that the Ravens really need. So while you guys are doing that and giving me your responses. Oh, okay. We got another name thrown in the hat. Let's see who we got. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, okay. 954 says Arvell Reese, my favorite player so far. Hey, Arvell, you're gonna have to. 954. You're gonna have to tell us why Arvell is your favorite player. You're gonna have to expand on that. All right. So, God wanted to bring into the conversation now a third option. Again, like I said, this is why I'm excited about this class. Is none other than this gentleman that I'm going to put on my screen here. And that is none other than Mr. Keldrick Falk. Shout out to, like I said, Coach Warready, big Auburn fan, loves Auburn Tigers. This kid stands 6'6", 288 pounds. He has 2 sacks so far in the season, 10 tackles, 2 sacks, 9 solo tackles. He is a little bit different than the other two. The other guys, the other two I mentioned are like powerhouses, powerful guys. This guy's a little bit longer, 6'6", 288 pounds, pretty long arms, 4.7 40 in the 40-yard dash. And let's jump into some of his tape a little bit. And this is a guy I feel like enough people aren't talking about, Keldrick Falk. All right. He a dog or a dog? Byron says, is he a dog or a dog? No, he a dog. I like Magoa too. You know I love Magoa, man. Come on. You know, I think the Ravens need to draft. They need to address the trenches in the first round, and whether that be offensive or defensive line doesn't make any difference to me. I just think they need to address it. And if they go offensive line, then Magoa will be perfect. And CRJ says every last one of those are dogs. Peter Woods, Ruben Bain, and now Keldrick Falk, who you guys are seeing on your screen right now. Longer arm guy, a little bit built different than, especially he's definitely built different than Peter Woods. But Keldrick Falk is just a guy, man. Like he's got a great motor. He can get off blocks. He has longer arms, so he can like lock out offensive linemen to be able to set the edge and find running backs. He's a dog. 954 says he's off-ball linebacker, but I think if he wanted to, he can make the switch to the outside like Micah, but I would use him as a hybrid. He's too good of a chess piece, blows up runs, ridiculous athlete. Okay. He says he also has a great frame if you want to get him a little bigger, has the strength to set the edge, has the closing speed to spy any quarterback as well. Love it. Love it. And he's talking about Arvell Reese, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I know you probably like, who is he talking about? He's talking about Arvell Reese. On your screen right now is Keldrick Falk, edge rusher from Auburn University. Walt says, Orr is going to love dropping Falk in coverage against tight ends. Bro, when I saw Mike Green in coverage against, I think it was Sam Laporta, I was like, man, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Like, Mike Green's best thing that he does is he goes for it, rushes the passer. He has unbelievable explosion off the line. His bendiness is what makes him elite, and we got him dropping in coverage. Nasty work. All right, this is Keldrick Falk. And again, for those who don't know about Keldrick Falk, again, 6'6", 288 pounds from Auburn. So far, he has 3 sacks on the season. But let's talk about some of his strengths. He's prototype physical dimensions with exceptional height at 6'6", weight distribution, and arm length that creates instant leverage advantages against most offensive tackles he faces. He's a devastating run defender who plays with natural leverage despite his height, consistently setting a firm edge and rerouting runners with explosive two-gap potential against inside zone concepts. He has a versatile alignment weapon who can rush effectively from a 5 technique to a full high or kick inside or on passing downs, displaying different rush plans from each spot in Auburn's multiple front look. He shows rare redirect ability for a 288-pounder capable of planting his outside foot and closing downhill when quarterbacks step up or running backs cut back against the grain. Hand usage has progressed significantly since freshman year, now deploying a vicious long arm stab that maximizes his reach and creates instant separation against lunging tackles. That is Keldrick Falk, ladies and gentlemen. Again, now we got 3 guys: Ruben Bain, Peter Woods, Keldrick Falk. How we feeling about Keldrick Falk? What's your opinion now? Now that you've seen a little bit of his film, now that you've seen a little bit of his film, and I've read to you his pros, what do you think about him? And maybe you guys have already known about him, but I want your opinions on Keldrick Falk. Let me show you guys something here. This is a good example of Keldrick Falk's some of his ability. All right, watch how he attacks the lines, the lineman in the front of him, his shoulders, right? He uses his long arms to lock out, just like I spoke about. And we're gonna go back to that first play. So he uses his long arms to stab, now shed the block, make the tackle. That's exactly what you want to see. And honestly, we're not seeing that on the Ravens D-line right now. Watch how he slices in between 2 offensive linemen to make a tackle in the backfield. So he has a quick first step to beat offensive linemen to the punch. He also has long arms to lock out, to be able to set an edge or to be able to find the runner in the run game. He's shown pass rush ability and run stopping ability. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Keldrick Falk, Ruben Bain, Peter Woods. Those are my guys right now. For this next one, we're going to go back to Clemson. And we're going to talk about a guy. Clemson just got so much talent. But we're going to talk about Mr. TJ Parker. I think CRJ likes this guy a lot. 6'3", 265 pounds, ran a 4.65 at Clemson. This guy is, Like, he is one of them ones. So let's get into Mr. TJ Parker. Talk about some of his pros and cons. Some of the things that I like about TJ. All right. This is TJ Parker. As you can see, TJ Parker 6'3", 265 pounds. He has 2 sacks on the season, 13 tackles, and 9 solo. 4'6", 40. He was the number 2 player at his position as far as ranks. Let's hop into some of his tape. And for those, again, who know about TJ Parker, this is just refreshing you on what you already know. But he has unbelievable first step quickness. That's something that immediately jumps off tape when it comes to TJ Parker. So we're gonna get into it. All right. This is some TJ Parker. He's number 3 for those who don't know. Again, fighting through the double team. And TJ's more of a primary edge guy, but he has everything you want. I mean, he can set the edge, long arms. He's tall, but he's pretty put together, stout against the run, and can get after the quarterback. Has a high motor, and he's another one of those dogs that we talk about. Like, again, this is the perfect draft for the Ravens. It's set up perfect. Their needs match the strength of this draft so well. Not even just that though. The Ravens are set up to have a ton of picks going into this year's draft. A ton of picks. And they may have even more because you may see trades for guys like Mark Andrews at the deadline. You might see other guys moved in trades as well, because the Ravens have some, like, if this season continues to go the way it's going, like, they definitely need to cut some dead weight. And I said it before, I think Roquan should be gone, Marlon should be gone. Andrews, not because he's not talented, but because he's a free agent and might as well trade him at the deadline and get something for him. So yeah, I think the Ravens could end up with even more picks if they play the cards right. EDC, I expect him to be aggressive, especially if a new coach is coming in. And I expect him to be aggressive in trying to acquire more draft picks to replenish the roster with younger, cheaper contracts. What do you guys think about TJ Parker? CRJ goes TJ Parker, exclamation point. That's a guy. TJ Parker is a guy. What do you guys think? TJ Parker, Keldrick Faulk, Peter Woods, Ruben Bain. What are your thoughts? A couple of other players that I want to mention, just kind of mention them, I want to talk about Mateo Ugalele at Oregon, 6'5", 270-pound edge rusher. Tyreek Sapp, University of Florida, 6'3", 272. And a guy I do like in Dennis Sutton from Penn State, 6'5", 272 pounds, edge rusher. Again, this class is loaded at the D-line position. If you need a D-lineman, this is the year to get one. And then this is a really loaded linebacker class. And, like, again, I can see Roquan being out And if that's the case, if that's the case, then to me, you can replenish and get younger at linebacker and really get better. To be honest, I love Teddy Buchanan. I like what I'm seeing from him. Trenton Simpson is kind of not grasping the position. Maybe it's the coaching. I don't know. But Trenton Simpson hasn't been impressive, and so I think they could go and get some linebackers. Tim Diamond Rod says Tim Keenan in the later rounds. I like that one. That's a pull right there. I like Tim Keenan. What else we got? And just check the chat. CRJ, what you think of Stanford edge rusher David Bailey? I like David Bailey. I do. I think. Let me go back to I get his profile here. I like David Bailey a lot. They don't, obviously I'm right here. Stanford's in my backyard. So I see a lot of their games. I literally drive past Stanford every day to go to work. So he has 3.5 sacks on his year. He's 6'3", 240 pounds. And I should have some film here of David Bailey, so we could probably take a look at him for a second. David Bailey. Let me see if I can find some. But I like him. I think he has, again, a lot of these guys, if you look, a lot of them are built very similar. I mean, you're talking like 6'3", 250 plus pounds. They all have like similar builds. So let's see. So David Bailey, 6'3", 240, 4.52 in the 40. His strengths are first step explosion, borders on elite, consistently the first defender moving at the snap, allowing him to disrupt plays before they develop and dictate tempo against slower footed tackles. Possess rare athletic traits evidenced by making Bruce Feldman's 2025 freak list. He benched 405 pounds and squatted 550. He has rare speed for a guy at 6'3", 250 pounds, having hit 22.16 miles per hour. His new teammate, Romello, height is almost as freaky, having clocked 21.82 miles per hour at 240 pounds. He shows exceptional bend and ankle flexibility around the edge that can't be taught, maintains speed through his turns, and shows ability to flatten to the quarterback without losing momentum. So right now, Bailey, I believe, is at Texas Tech. I think he transferred. Let me see if I can find him. Texas Tech. Let me see if I can find some film of Mr. David Bailey, because it looks like he transferred. I don't have much on him, but let's see. Texas A&M. Okay. We got Lee Hunter, but we don't have David Bailey. Okay, so let me try another spot. Maybe I can find something. But I've seen his games. I've watched him a lot. He is good, though. Like David Bailey, I think could be somebody that I could see. Yeah, he's transferred. So let's check out this little highlight of him at Texas Tech.
25 miles southeast of Kent, and he gets a rude welcome in Lubbock. Ooh. Freshman from Beloit, Ohio, went to West Branch, about 25 miles southeast of Kent, and he gets a rude
You see the motor,
welcome
you
in
see the
Lubbock.
long arms, kind of a throwback kind of guy like David Bailey. Seen him a lot at Stanford, and then he transferred to Texas Tech. Once I get some all 22 on him, we'll do more on him. But yeah, David Bailey is someone you definitely I could see the Ravens going after in the later rounds. Because he has something that you just can't coach, and that's a motor. He has unbelievable bend and ability to get around the edge. Some linebackers, though, that I wanted to highlight. Oh, he is listed. Let me see. Hold on one second. He's listed as a linebacker, so I wonder if they have him. Oh, there he is. I do have film on him. Huh? They have him listed as a linebacker. So let's check out some David Bailey, shall we? Just because I know, my boy CRJ is a draft nerd like me, and I'm sure this will make him happy. Check out a little bit of David Bailey here. This is his Stanford tape. There he is standing at the top, dropping in the coverage. Oh, Zach Orr will love that. Look at that coverage ability. He loved that. Zach Orr ain't never seen an edge rusher he didn't want to drop. It shows his versatility, shows his athleticism. You can see he's a pretty put together kid. Super strong. I like it, man. He don't play with no sleeves, no gloves. He just old school. All right. So this is David Bailey. So look, before we get out here, I was told, I was requested to do a mock draft. They're like, man, we need a mock draft. Let's do something. It'd be exciting. So I'm going to do a 3-round mock draft just for the Baltimore Ravens. And we're going to do this together. Because, when you 1-3, you don't have much to look forward to. And so we're going to look forward to the draft because I am the draft nerd. And I'm going to make sure I keep you guys abreast of what needs to be known as far as the players in this class. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's get into it. Hopefully we get our guys, Hopefully we get some guys that we want in this draft. So let's see. All right, I'm going to start the draft. As you can see, we're the number 6 pick. The last time the Ravens were the number 6 pick, they got Ronnie Stanley. So that turned out pretty good. Number 6 pick, the way the Ravens playing, they could be up here somewhere. Who knows? But number 6 would be good. I wouldn't be mad if we ended up with the number 6 pick. I think that'd be okay. I mean, you can get a good player at that position. The reason why I say the Ruben Bain thing is kind of a pipe dream because look at where he's ranked. In most mock drafts, he's the number 3 player. So, I mean, crazy things have happened, right? We didn't think we'd get Mike Green, and we did. So, love LT Overton. We're gonna get into some offensive line guys in the next one, and that one will be the next part. Will be like a more specific all 22 breakdown. We'll spend more time watching all 22 and breaking down film, and we'll definitely be jumping into the offensive lineman on that one. So let's just get this party started and start the draft. All right. Look like we getting a trade request, y'all. With the Houston Texans. Don't we play them this week? I don't know if we can do that. I don't know about this. They want to offer us the 10th pick, a second round pick, pick 41, a 4th round pick, a 2027 round 2 and round 6 to get up to 6. Wow. I think, listen, EDC would take that in a heartbeat if that actually happened in real life. Yes, sir. CRJ says he'll be in Pittsburgh at the draft. Yeah, this would be an insane haul. But for this mock's sake, we're going to reject this trade because we're just going to stick and pick. And looky, Reuben Bain and Peter Woods are on the board. So, chat, help me out. Who do we go with our first pick? We got Reuben Bain on the board. We got Peter Woods on the board. Caleb Downs is on the board, but ain't no way the Ravens drafting another safety. Ravens flock would lose there, you know what, if we took another safety. So, do we go Reuben Bain? Do we go Peter Woods? Y'all let me know in the chat. Let's do this together. TJ Parker is also there. Jordan Tyson, who's an elite wide receiver prospect. I love. My boy Byron loves him as well. And there's some offensive line prospects as well. Caden Proctor, elite tackle prospect out of Alabama. Spencer Fano is another one. So, yeah. Let's see what the first 5 picks were. Lenore Sellers, Mendoza from Indiana, Keldrick Falk went number 3, Nussmeier, and Klubnik. Oh, so that means Mayoga is still on the board. So we got some pretty exciting options here. Chat, what do y'all think? What should we do with this first pick? Y'all let your boy know. CRJ says, man, that's tough. I will go with Peter Woods. Okay, we got one for Peter Woods. Anybody else? Should we go Reuben Bain? Should we go Peter Woods? This could actually be our decision, and that would be a tough decision at that point. Do we go Woods? Do we go Reuben Bain? Or do we go a different direction altogether? What do you guys think? I want to get a couple of votes, y'all, so make sure y'all chiming in. Yeah, so y'all tell me, man. Let's do this together. Let's have some ownership in this. Let's make the Ravens great again. Let's make the Ravens great again, man. We got one vote for Peter Woods. Reuben Bain is sitting there, though, on the board. And I do realize that I'm live, so I'm going to give it a second to allow you guys to chime in. Y'all let me know. Talk to me. All right. Diamond Rod said Woods. So we got 2 votes for Woods. Y'all know I love Woods. Listen. You ain't got to convince me. I love Woods. Let's see if we get some more. Let's see if we get some more votes. Diamond Rod says Woods. CRJ said, man, that's tough, but I go with Peter Woods. I think a lot of Ravens fans now are saying, let's go Woods, because Woods has that versatility to legit be an enforcer on the D-line, but it also can be an enforcer on the edge as well. If we were to, because the Ravens like to spring out from 3-4 to 4-3. And so if we go from 3-4, he's inside, 4-3, he's outside. You can really do that. And then imagine the D-line with Peoples and Travis Jones and Peter Woods, and let's say Matabike somehow comes back. Then now you're really cooking with something. So, all right. So we got 2 votes for Woods. What do you guys think? We're doing a mock draft for the Ravens, just 3 rounds. Ruben Bain is on the board. So is Peter Woods. Would you guys take one of those? What about you? You know, do we have a vote for an offensive line prospect? All the offensive linemen are still there. Spencer Fanal, Francis Magoa. There's a lot of good talent still on the board here for the Baltimore Ravens. Do you guys think we should go Bain, go Woods, or go another player? What are we thinking? Need to replace Beaks. Don't know if he will be back or not. Absolutely. All right. So we're just going to go with Peter Woods here with the first pick. All right. We took Mr. Woods. All right, y'all. We back on the board again. Well, no, we're not back on the board yet. My bad. I thought we were. But I agree. Need to replace Beaks. Don't know if he'll be back or not. And you got to approach it as if he's not. We are back on the board now. And our first pick is Mr. Peter Woods. So what do we do now? So top options are another defensive lineman, Caleb Banks from the University of Florida. We have linebacker Sony Styles from Ohio State, CJ Allen, LT Overton, edge rusher from Alabama, is still there. Nick Singleton, running back from Penn State, is there. Denzel Boston, y'all know, listen. Y'all know I love Denzel Boston. Big body receiver. The type of receiver that EDC has said that has haunted him that he hasn't been able to find. So you got him. Let's check the O-line prospects. Let's see. Caden Green is a guy I really like. Looks like we lost out on some of the elite tackles. It's okay. Let's see. Where did Fagoa go? Oh, there you go. He went 15 to the Bears. Oh, Anthony Hill Jr. went to Tampa Bay. That would be great for them. All right. So what do we go with the second pick, y'all? Do we go O-line? You got Colt Dietrich here. I'm still on the board. Or do we go another D lineman? Let's say we go edge, LT. Do we dare go defense twice? Or do we go Denzel Boston and get that big body receiver that EDC has been missing? Or do we go linebacker? Let's see what the linebackers look like. CJ Allen, Styles, Arvell Reese, who we just talked about. All right, y'all tell me. What we thinking? Jordy says by the end of the season, what pick do you think we'll actually end up with? In my opinion, I think the Ravens will be in the top 10. I do. I think we'll be in the top 10, unfortunately. Hey, man, it ain't depressing because the results are going to be better for us, right? In the long run, we'll be better off as a team. So sometimes you got to take a step back in order to take a step forward. So I do get it, though. It is depressing thinking that the season is cooked.
Dad, I play game.
Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties. CRJ says, I like CJ Allen. He has a high grade on defending the run. I do like CJ Allen as a linebacker. He'd be interesting as a pair with Buchanan, or I don't know if we have invested pretty well in the linebackers with Jay Higgins and Chandler Martin. I feel like we need to go offensive line though. I think Jennings Dunker would be the pick here. Like he's really good, and y'all know Iowa just breeds these guys. He'd be really good on this offensive line. The Ravens really need to address the trenches, and I wouldn't be mad if they addressed it with their first 2 picks. Or does anyone think we should go wide receiver? Denzel Boston. All right, let's go. I love Denzel Boston. It would be really hard for me to move away from him at this pick because he's that big body receiver that EDC has been looking for. You did address defense with the first pick with Peter Woods. You do need an offensive lineman, though. Let's see. Could we get Dunker in the 3rd round? What do we think? He's 55. Is it possible? Or we'll pick 37. Boston is ranked 36. You know what? Let's get Boston here. And then hopefully one of those Iowa linemen fall to us in the 3rd round. Let's do that. That way we get the big body receiver. And that issue is resolved forever. We don't have to worry about it. I don't think D-Hop will be back next year. And so having that big body outside receiver would help out so much, especially with the next offensive coordinator coming in. I don't know why Houston keeps wanting to trade with us. This is weird. All right, so we're back on the clock. I'm going to reject this Houston. I'm definitely reject the Cincinnati Bengals and the Chicago Bears. We're going to reject. And then, Nicholas Harbor. Wow. Nicholas Harbor is sitting on the board. If had I known that, I probably would have passed on Boston and took the tackle. But let's see. Caden Green is still there. We did miss out on – it looks like we missed out on Dunker, which sucks. We missed out on Dunker. Where'd he go? Oh, yeah, he went to the Arizona Cardinals. That sucks. But Caden Green is really good. This might be a little too high for him, but he is really good. I like Parker Brailsford too. What do you guys think? 3rd round pick here. What we do? Do we go edge? Do we go defense? Do we go offensive line? What do you guys think? Diamond Ross says, has Harbor been good this year? He's been okay. Let's just say that. He's been okay. His stats read, he has 11 receptions, 220 yards, and 1 touchdown. So he's been okay. He hasn't been like lighting up the world, but he also hasn't been terrible. Did we go edge here? Okay. Yeah, we went D tackle first, wide receiver, then we go edge. Let's go edge then. I like that. Good call, Jordy. So let's go edge, and then let's go with we could go Joshua Joseph. Or we could go Mason Thomas. Let's go Joshua Josephs. There we go. And then for those who don't know about Joshua Joseph, before we get out, I'll just do a little breakdown on Joshua Joseph. Oh, I love Harold Perkins Jr. I think he's so versatile. I think he can be an edge at the NFL, but I also think he'd be a really good off-ball linebacker. I know. You know who Nicholas? So Walt says Harbor makes me nervous. His speed is crazy, but he's a little raw. You know who he reminds me? Remember, it reminds me of like Devin Funchess. Y'all remember Devin Funchess? That's who he reminds me of. Devin Funchess. All right, so there's our 3-round mock draft, y'all. We got Peter Woods in the first round, Denzel Boston in the second, and we got Joshua Josephs in the third. So give me your thoughts. What do you think about the 3-round mock? Peter Woods, Denzel Boston, Joshua Joseph. If it ended like this, would you be happy? Would you be okay? Would you be okay if it shaked out like this? And let me show you a little bit of Joshua Joseph for those who don't know who he is. Harbor makes me nervous a little bit too. He does remind me of Devin Funchess, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. All right, let's just check out a little bit of Joshua Joseph here. He's kind of in that same build as James Pierce Jr. Strong, long edge rusher, set the edge, can get upfield. Kind of really fits the Ravens type of style of play. He can line up with his hand in the dirt. He can rush from a 2-point stance. I just think he'd be really good. If you grab him and Peter Woods to add to the D-line, I think the D-line should be much improved. Edge rush and D-line. I think I think it would be exciting to think about the defense with those two pieces added. All right. Well, that does it, y'all, today for the show. I appreciate y'all. I went over a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's cool. We just getting going, and we got a lot to talk about and a lot to share. But I appreciate you guys all for rocking with me. Again, top corner, it's the QR code to my PayPal. Please support the channel so that we can continue to build and continue to give you guys great content. Y'all know towards the end of the year, I'll be at the Senior Bowl. I'll be at the East-West game. I'll be at the NFL Combine, and I'll be broadcasting live from all of those events and bringing you exclusive interviews and bringing you exclusive content on the guys coming out at the draft. And y'all know how I rock, so it's going to be great. We're going to be talking ball, and I know what I'm talking about. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. Please lock in with me. Again, QR code for the PayPal is in the top corner here, as well as make sure you guys are following me on Twitch at Draftnerds1. Check me out on Twitch at Draftnerds1. Check me out on YouTube at Draftnerds, and obviously on Twitter at TalkingBall1. Well, I agree. Tennessee has been an edge factory lately. I agree. Trust says, "What's up, Matt? What up, my boy?" But yeah, Tennessee been pushing them edge rushers out, man. Like, I don't know what they got going on. Their offense, their receivers have a tough time translating to the NFL, but their edge rushers have been solid. So, with that being said, man, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all. Keep it locked with me, and I'm gonna be bringing y'all content on a daily basis. So make sure you following me. Go to YouTube at Draftnerds and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, once I reach 500 subscribers, we can really start turning up. They give us access to Super Chat, and they'll allow us to monetize, right? So we can get better equipment, we can get a better setup. Everything will be so much better, and it'll be great. And you guys will have some investment in it because you will help me build it, and I appreciate you. So with that being said, I'm out.
Got a little bit of money filling my pockets. Roll around like I run and shit. I got a system filled up with toxins. I've been broken hearted now.